And I reached out to one of their brand ambassadors. I was like, and he's like, no. And he's like, not yet. He put it nicely. I'll say that.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because all you said in the email was,
Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But you probably should, and you probably are, and that's why we like you. It's going to be a great episode today. We're drinking a whiskey today that we have wanted to drink on the podcast for a long time, over a year easily. But before we get into that whiskey, before we get into any history or how we're doing or anything like that, here's one way to support us. I mentioned this recently. Subscribe to us on YouTube. It just means a lot to us. We've seen, the subscription amount, or whatever you call it, the subscriber amount go up lately. We love that. We're nowhere near where we want to be, which is fine. We'll get there one day. But if you want to subscribe to us, that would mean a lot to us. So that's the business for this week. Here's the podcast. Bryan, I'm interested in two things very strongly, but you don't have to talk about them. But I'm interested in one, how Chickpea's doing, and two, how your New Year's plans went.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Chickpea is doing well. So we actually heard the heartbeat for the first time. We had a checkup a couple days ago. Yep. And so we got to hear
so fast, those kids.
We got to hear the heartbeat. So that was
exciting.
Fun. Made it even feel a little more real. I think we'll get another ultrasound next time, maybe in a month or so. I think we'll do an ultrasound again. So, it's feeling more and more real by the day.
Yeah. No scares, no issues. There's scares and issues along the way sometimes. I mean, heck, I'm grateful to God that Gray is doing great, because she was like, the doctors weren't even sugarcoating it. They were just like, this is worrisome. And so we got a baby, and she is so cute, man. But go on.
That was a weight gain thing, right?
Yeah, she just was growing super slow. She wasn't not growing, but she wasn't growing at a decent rate, and she dropped off the charts in terms of weight. So we're but she's doing great. She's eating. She ate carrots yesterday, pureed, of course. But
nice. Sam is. We keep expecting her to be gaining weight, but she's not really gaining weight.
That was Heather.
So the nurse at the appointment, she was like, well, sometimes people will be eating a lot more healthy than
for their kids' sake,
making better choices. And we're like, oh yeah, Sam's been eeating way healthier than she'd normally eat. So I guess, in theory, if she wasn't pregnant, she'd be losing weight. She'd be losing weight probably because she's eating a lot better. So it's holding steady. We're waiting to see if it starts to take off now that she's in the second trimester and everything.
Is she showing yet?
She's showing. Not she's not to the I'm obviously pregnant showing yet, but if you know her, you're like, you weren't that big. I
Heather from behind, even 8 months pregnant, you could not tell Heather was pregnant from behind. And I was like, woman, you need to take advantage of this time and eat. And she was like, no, she was kind of trying to eat healthy and trying not to be obviously pregnant. Yeah. But I'm like, this is a baby. You need to give that baby nutrients like pizza and stuff. So
yeah. Actually, the one thing, she hasn't had any crazy cravings or anything. She hasn't done anything crazy yet. No real pregnancy brain things or anything. But lately she has been asking for cheeseburgers a lot more.
Nice.
She never craves a cheeseburger, but in the last month or so, there have been at least 3 times where she's like, I really want a burger, and I'm like, yes, because I love Five Guys is my favorite. I love Five Guys.
If Five Guys wasn't $30 for a burger, I would be all about it.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
It's worth it to me, man. I will pay that for Five Guys. Whatever it is. It's actually been a while. I haven't gotten it in a while, but I put together.
What's your favorite Phoenix burger? Otherwise, though,
just Five Guys is really the only one that comes to mind. There's no. I don't think I've hit up many. Unique.
You ever been to cold beer and cheeseburgers or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's good too.
Yeah.
I do really like it.
Hmm.
But really, I don't seek out like independent tiny burger shops. I do love food and I love trying weird places, but I can't
Hmm.
remember the last time. I
Yeah.
think there's a place called like Chuck Box on the ASU campus,
Okay.
something like that. Does that
Nice.
sound familiar?
Sounds legit.
It was good, but
Hmm.
anyway, I haven't been in like 8 years, so I don't remember what
Mm.
it's like. But
That's funny.
yeah, I'm a sucker for being able to mobile order somewhere and just walk in and grab it
Nice.
really quick.
That's good and bad.
Yeah, no, I know. Don't get me wrong though. I am pretty adventurous with like trying
I
random
believe it.
places and stuff,
Hmm.
but I fall on the comforts pretty frequently too.
What about pizza? Are you the same way with
Oh
pizza?
yeah.
You like
I
you'll go to like a chain place more often because of the
n-
easy. Oh, okay.
uh not
What's your
so
favorite
much.
Phoenix pizza?
So yeah, overall favorite Phoenix pizza is Venezia's.
Yeah, heck
You
yeah. They
remember
have the
that?
best. Dude, I
Oh
think
yeah.
I could have handled their challenge with a friend. We should go there next time I'm in town. You know they have
You
that
don't
like extra large
you don't
challenge.
want to do that with me. Yeah. I'm
Dude, I have an
sometimes
unending stomach right
yeah,
here.
I eat like a bird, man. I'll eat
That's
I'll eat
funny.
I'll eat, one slice and I'll be like,
Really?
"Oh, okay, I'm done."
Really? I wish, man. Dude, I've lost
Yeah.
like 18 pounds in the past few weeks.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
past 2 months. And dude, I literally ordered a pizza today and tried a piece. And I was like, and then I'll maybe after the recording see if I want it more. But if I were left to my own devices and no limitations, I would finish a large pizza of Marco's pizza, which was what we got,
Yeah.
and not even
Marcos.
feel bad about it. Like I just never regret eating things. And so
Yeah.
that's my problem is that I can just eat and not feel bad about it. Even like physically, I just don't feel bad. Even after eating Taco Bell and stuff like that, don't feel
Yeah.
bad.
All right. If you
So
were
that's my
gonna
problem.
be in a hot dog eating contest,
um,
how and you were prepped accordingly, if
mhm.
you hadn't eaten in 6 hours or whatever's
Yeah,
best for you, how many hot dogs do you think you could put down?
at least 10 probably.
Oh! Yeah,
Yeah.
and, like, we're talking, like, small
With the
bun, just
bun,
the dog,
yeah,
like
mhm.
the standard, like,
If it's a
competition
good
hot dog.
dog, like, it sometimes it comes down to, like, is it a tasty dog? I can't eat things that I don't enjoy.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
but,
it's just yeah, they just
this is
don't go down.
purely you are cramming hot dogs in your
Yeah.
face.
Mhm. I mean, do you
Not
remember the
about tasting
story
it.
about how at my prior company or my company I started at, I can't say it. I just literally spoke it out. I worked at Allstate for a while, and
Yeah.
they did have a competitive eating competition,
Oh my
and they
gosh.
did Krispy Kreme within a few months of when I started. Do you know how many I got in 5 minutes? Or
Yeah,
no,
let me
6 minutes.
guess.
6 minutes.
6 minutes,
Hmm.
donuts per second. I'll go with 32.
Oh wow, no, I wish.
I
Um,
was still
they were
reeling on the 10 hot dog deal.
no,
Jeez, I
yeah,
can't even
no.
imagine.
I mean, if there were no time limit, I could probably eat 10 hot dogs. Um, but I did 15 in 6 minutes.
Nice.
And one for my location for the company. And so yeah, did really well. And
Nice.
but yeah, that's my thing is like, and then I did feel like, I don't want to barf, but like within 5 minutes of that being done, I was like, I feel good. Like I could eat another I could eat another Krispy Kreme right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. I think,
Yeah.
I could probably eat I don't think I could finish a 4th hot dog, like,
Hmm.
standard hot dog eating competition, like, probably, like, 3 and
Really.
3.5, and I'd just be like, "Oh, I can't."
It's a blessing and a curse.
I know. Yeah, right. Bragging no
Mostly a
bragging rights for
curse.
me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten things like when I was in high school, I was on the swim team, so I like actually lost the calories too.
Yeah.
I went to Burger King and they had the BK quad stacker with cheese,
Oh
which
my gosh.
represented 4 layers of cheese, bacon, burger, and
Bacon.
then, reiterated 4 times.
Yeah.
And I put down 3 of those in one sitting.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And I was hungry and I ate a Snickers bar after that. And
Jeez.
yeah, so that's
Thir
like my problem is like I got this huge stomach and I still got the swimmer's stomach, but I don't have the swimmer's,
calorie burning.
calorie burning. So
yeah, if I had 3 of those 4-stack burgers, I don't think I
dude.
could finish that in a day.
Yeah.
Literally,
And
that
you
would
wouldn't
be
eat for a week probably. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be more than I could eat in a
That's so
day.
funny.
Yeah.
So how tall are you? We've met, but you're
6'4".
probably about
Yeah.
6. Yeah. Oh, you're taller than me.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah? How tall are you?
I'm like 6'3"-ish. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But well, that's so funny. Like all the hosts of this podcast have been easily over 6'2", which is
Nice.
2.5 is 95th percentile. What is the
Oh, yeah.
probability? Because Adam was like 6'4", 6'5", and he was tall, dude. And then
Wow.
Robbie was like 6'3", and then I'm 6'2.5", 6'3", and then you're
Yeah.
6'4". Dude, that is
Gotta be
I could run that probability easily. Yeah.
tall girl dad. Gotta
Yeah,
be. Yeah.
straight up. Yeah. So there's just like if one of us quits one day, you know who to go to next. A tall girl dad. So
Yep.
but that's not in the books. But anyway, what was I saying? So okay, how much you weigh? At 6'4".
Oh, yeah, yeah.
How much you weigh?
No, it's okay. I'm like 217 right now,
Okay.
216, 215. Yeah.
Okay. That's so funny because I'm like 6'3"-ish.
Yeah.
And my goal weight is 180. And like my very happy with myself goal weight is 175. And you don't
Okay.
look bad at all for what, 217 or whatever.
Yeah, I wear it well. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. But I like, so my problem is when I put on weight, it goes just to my stomach and maybe a little bit to my cheeks and stuff, but maybe you could tell a difference. Sometimes I look at old thumbnails and I'm like, you lost a little weight, Cole. But you look good, dude. Like
I think 180 or so, that was like absolute prime for me. I think at one point I was like 185.
Really?
And I can't even believe I was ever that skinny.
Yeah.
And then I think if I were to try hard, if I were to be like, okay, I really want to get into shape, I really want to try really hard, I would be super happy with myself if I was like 200 to 205. If I was like really close to 200, I'd be like, heck yeah, I did it. This is awesome. This is probably the best shape I'll be in for the rest of my life. But for the last couple of years, I've just been hovering 215 to 220 kind of.
I mean,
and when I get in shape for like a vacation, I'd be like 212, maybe I'd dip down a little bit. But I mean, I don't work out too much. I don't really watch what I eat too much. I just my quantity.
You just don't eat too much.
Yeah, my quantity is usually very low.
That's so funny to me.
It's kind of nice. Like I don't know. I don't really watch what I eat at all, and I just always stay right around 215. So that's my
the funny
equilibrium.
Thing. My high score of all time was 200.6 of all time. That's so funny though.
You weighed in over the 200 mark and you were like, that's it. I gotta.
No, literally. I was like, well, what really happened was like next week I am dieting, but this week I don't care. Yeah. And so I let myself go to 200.6. And then I was like, all right, good, tier there to say, all right, time to bring it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the hard thing is like, if I weren't like, cause like I look at you and I'm like, you're pretty well distributed. Like, it's like all fine. But when I put on and when I get to 200.6, it is like my belly is just it. Like, and I do not look fat. No, let me rephrase that. I look like a skinny guy with a big belly. That's it. And I've always, you look at my arm, I'm a skinny guy.
Yeah.
You look at my legs, I'm a skinny guy. It's a beer gut. And no matter if it's beer or not, like it just goes right to the belly. Right. And then I feel like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, dude, that belly. If it weren't for that belly, I wouldn't even care how I look. Like I would just, and heck, I could go to 210 and probably be fine. But that belly just sticks out, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's me. So yeah, you talked about Chickpea. She's doing well.
And I'd been putting together some furniture too. We got a crib and a dresser.
Nice. You put it all together already?
I got the crib done. I still need to do the dresser.
Such we had a man thing.
I know, building this
so good. I literally have Beck's crib right next to me in this room, and it's taken apart.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it on Craigslist or something, but
Yeah.
it is so cool to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a weird run around with the company. The original dresser they sent us had 3 broken pieces that were like
What?
the main top. The
Put
main
your
top had
child
a
in
big
that.
crack. Yeah, and then the 2
Oh,
sides
it's
had
funny.
like crazy scratches on them, and they were like, okay, well, since like the 3 largest pieces are broken, we'll just send you a
Just
whole new
resend the
one.
whole thing.
So
Yeah.
they sent us another one, and that one checked out okay.
Okay, good.
There's one piece actually I think we're gonna ask, but it's just
Might
one
as
piece now.
well.
We're down to one piece, and it was busted on both boxes.
Yeah, on
So
both of
we
them,
can't
yeah.
just
Or
take
else
one
you
from the
just
other.
replace, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then the bed, they sent us the wrong color, or sorry,
What?
the crib, they sent us the wrong color and
Come
wrong shape,
on.
actually. Instead
Who's
of a
this
rounded top,
company?
yeah, I know. And then we were supposed to get this like other little additional piece, but instead they sent us 2 of the wrong thing. It was like,
What?
yeah, it was ridiculous.
Was this
We had to,
online purchase or in
yeah,
store?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It
Still.
was Sam was very particular about the style and
Yeah.
color of crib and everything that she wanted, so she found it at
You
this
gotta
one
be.
place, and we vetted them a little bit, and it looked like it was gonna be okay. It's always a little
Yeah.
bit of a risk. It wasn't like a
Totally.
major company or anything, but
But
I don't know.
like,
The customer service is good so far, though,
that's good. So I think it is a joy, to be honest, if I were to say. Um Women nesting is kind of fun to watch. If you've ever heard the term, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, like nesting and like making everything like special for the baby. Like we don't think about it as much, but women like it's like a hormone. Like it just kicks in and they're like, I must nest.
Yeah,
And it's fun. It's cool. And it's like very and you gotta like encourage it. I'm sure you are aware, but you gotta just be like, all right, I'm here for it. Like
yeah,
let's make it. I'm not gonna call any of these shots,
yeah.
but I do have opinions here and there, but, like, Imma let you do this, so
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
a
We've
fun
been
time.
organizing a bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
And in the
That's
room
cool.
we want to be the nursery is where I have all my whiskey on the floor.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
the whiskey slash chickpeas room. It's whiskey,
Nice.
it's chickpeas whiskey room, really.
I love it.
But what like all my whiskey is in the floor over there because
Mhm.
a while back I noticed my pantry shelves were bowing.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
Yeah,
was like,
you told me that.
"Yeah, I'm not gonna wait for this to break. I'm just gonna take
Yeah.
everything off." And so we ended up doing a remodel on our pantry, and then now actually
Mhm.
we've signed to get some extensions on our cabinets so that they
Nice.
just continue on down the wall into the dining room.
That's cool.
So we'll have a nice little like kind of bar thing,
Mhm.
cabinet bar countertop situation with like
For
some
the other
upper
room.
cabinets with a glass door and some shelves
Mhm.
and stuff. So I'll be able to house all my bottles there, and
Nice.
hopefully someday that'll be a backdrop. Say goodbye to
Yeah.
the cats,
That's
everyone.
right.
That could be my nice backdrop for the podcast
Yeah.
someday. So
Suck
we'll
it,
see.
cats. So, no, no. They'll
Yeah.
find
What about
fun
you?
in
What you
other
been up
rooms.
to last week or so?
Not too much. Yeah, we got back from Colorado, but we mentioned that last episode.
Hmm.
So things have been good. Works kicking back up and having a little more busyness, which is good. I like being busy at work. And then let's see. Otherwise, yeah, love and life. I'll just say this because actually we've gone long already, and I don't have much to say about. But I will say Gray, the younger of my 2 daughters, has been exceptionally cute lately. Like, I will just I'm not the type of dad like, I am a little bit. I'm a little bit of the dad that will look up pictures of my kids just to, like, find joy in the day. But lately, I've been looking up pictures of Gray, and she is just so happy, and it's so cute.
Nice.
And, she's just all smiles, all like, if you look at her and like, "Hi," she's like and she'll stick out her tongue and just be like, "Hi." Like, it's just so
Nice.
cute. So anyway, I am a proud dad of 2 girls, and it shows this week. So
Nice.
that's what's been up with me. I bought okay, so check this out. For Gray, I purchased my 6th individual, bottle of Jack Daniel's Barrel Proof Rye from that was bottled in 2023.
Yeah.
I finished my set of 6. I technically have 8 bottles at home, but 2 are from the same batch and 1 is opened. So that means I have 6 that are unique.
Yeah.
And so I will set those now aside. Today was the day I got the 6th. I'm going to set those aside for one day when she's 21 or older and decides what to do with them herself. But I wanted to, give her a fun gift when she turns 21 of 2023 bottles, which is the year she was born, of something special. So I decided that. Yeah.
Pick up anything else while you're at the store?
No, but they haven't done a drop in a while. They used to do drops like on the weekly or at least every other week, and they don't just do drops anymore. So I don't know what's happening.
Maybe the big whiskey drop time of year is over. Maybe.
I just really want to drop, man. Like, I don't know, but
itching your arms and everything.
Yeah, give me the drop, man. Like, I heard you guys got a drop. But that's that. Yeah. So I'll figure out when they do it. It's been so infrequent over the past 2 or 3 months that people just stopped caring. Like, and they're just like, I don't even know what's going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like maybe this week, maybe next week, they'll just be like, drop, and then everyone will get what they want. So
do they still do those like super random where it's like boom right now?
They should. So they still theoretically do that.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't happened in like a month and a half. I think it happened once in December, but it wasn't anywhere near me. Like all the other stores and like even Richmond didn't get any. And I live near Richmond. And they were like, and then they did the planned ones. They did 2 planned ones over the past 2 months or 2 or 3 months. And but then there was like 1 or 2 randomized drops. But they used to be like I said, like you used to be on your toes with those things. Like you used to be like, any moment I got to check my phone to see if it's a drop.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. So anything else before we get into the history?
Nope, I've definitely talked long enough.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So we'll be right back, listeners, and we'll get into the history of Glen Grant and Glen Grant 18. So we'll be right back.
Hey, Cole.
What up, Bryan?
Are you hungry?
Always hungry.
I'm hungry too, but do you need to lose some weight?
Always trying to lose some weight because I'm too hungry.
Yeah, I need to lose some weight too, which is why I'm going to be eating Bush's zero sugar added baked beans.
Zero sugar added?
Yeah, featuring the classic Bush's flavor, an excellent source of fiber, and just 14 grams net carbs.
What?
The only thing missing is the sugar.
I got to try this now. Where can I find it?
You can find it online at the Bush's Baked Beans Bean Hub.
Is there a coupon code for Chill Filtered?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Just go to bushesbakedbeans.com/chillfiltered is the best for 10% off your zero sugar added baked beans coupons. That's it for now.
And we're back. Some quick notes to get to. Just wanted to give 2 shout outs and a thank you. A shout out to the 2 peeps that helped me have a bottle and a backup bottle of this great pour that we're drinking today. First is Marco and AZ. It was a groomsman gift from his wedding. And then there's Ben Klepsig. It was like within a week or 2. Both of them got it. And Ben helped me score a bottle from the Midwest. I believe it was from Binny's, from like Illinois or something like that. Shout
Binny's
out to all.
Legit.
Yeah, no, it's like the Midwest, especially like Chicago area, like place to go. Shout out to all that participated in the 2023 Seek It Sampler, and we're keeping the name because it's a great name. Be ready for it to become even bigger next Christmas. So thanks also to all who viewed the first episode of the Reentry Buzz, where we drank a unnamed whiskey, and we competed, me and Bryan, for who could be the best blind sampler or blind taster or whatever. So we're completely open to feedback, though. If you have anything that you think could make it better, please let us know. Hit us up on Instagram or reach out to us at chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. We're all ears. So we're drinking today Glen Grant 18. This is our third episode on a Glen Grant product. And technically, we even did a drink along with a Glen Grant product as well once. And that was the Alexander Murray and Company. That was the Glen Grant 23 year that we tried as a Patreon peeps. Yeah, that's right. If you're on Patreon, you get nice things like samples of Glen Grant 23 year from Alexander Murray and Company.
You just spurred my memory on something.
Mm-hmm.
I think with all the secret sampler and crazy Christmas time stuff going on, I think we forgot to say an extra special thank you to our newest
That's
Patreon.
Right.
Yeah. David Lipinski.
We love you, David. And I'm prepping for his drink along samples to be couriered out to him soon. I actually worked on that today. So David, we appreciate you, David. And then a big shout out to Tim and Sarah Murray, who were joining us on the most recent drink along. Tim not only helped everyone by not helped everyone. Tim did great in getting his FCAS designation, which is FCAS, which is Fellow of the Casualty Actuarial Society. Dude's a pro. Not only that, him and his wife up their tier on Patreon to the Stemless Glencairn tier. So we really appreciate that, Tim and Sarah. You guys are ballers. So keep the baller attitude going, and you're now much more beautiful as time goes by.
Never thought it was possible, but somehow even more.
Somehow. Shout out to Sean Ciaro, who took great photos of the last year, and he is a very, very beautiful Patreon member as well. So anyway, that's what we got for this week. All right. We also, okay, so check it out. Episode 69. Nice. We did Glen Grant 16. And on episode 230, we did Glen Grant 15, batch proof, first edition. So it's been a while, over a year since the last episode, but we'll cover some more ground in the history today. We've talked in the past about Jim Murray, tall, slender stills, and even purifiers on different episodes. But today we're going to talk about a little bit about the Grant clan. Wow. I just had a burp and knowing me, I'd never burp. I actually have a condition where I can't burp. So
that's cool. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking up this Glen Grant batch proof though. So was it 100 proof?
Let's see. I'll tell you right now. It is where's this? Yeah, 100 proof.
Cool.
And it won I'll get to it later, but it won 2021. Jim Murray gave this the Scotch of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Okay, so the history is a little meandering. Not meandering. There's probably a better word, but someone on our reviews will be like, so meandering. Shut up. Anyway, that's what I think. I'm a little
Thank
hyper
you for
now.
your feedback. We love your feedback. We may or may not incorporate it.
Exactly. If you don't want meandering, we're not your podcast, though.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm sorry.
Did you listen to the first 15 minutes?
Exactly. Did you make it this far? Anyway. Okay, so this one's pretty interesting. We got I did a lot of research for this episode, more than I normally do. And most of it is either too much to discuss in one episode or potentially too removed from the typical whiskey history. But let me just say this. As I was looking into the Grant clan, Scottish clan history is bananas. Crazy stuff going on in Scotland for centuries. And I was reading stuff about revolts and clan wars and even last clan revolt of Scottish history. Well, basically after Parliament and all that stuff was established in England, people are still doing clan revolts. Anyway, dang. I was reading about armies drinking stupid amounts of whiskey on their nights off. I was drinking about mobs armed with nothing but barrel staves.
Yes.
Just so Scotland, am I right?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, it was crazy. And to be honest, I knew I like barely scratched the surface in terms of like Scotland history. And I'm going to have to spend some time watching Scottish history videos because it was intense. Have you ever seen Braveheart?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've never seen Braveheart, and I gotta
Ooh,
watch it now.
it's long, I think,
Oh, is it?
but yeah, it's
Oh
good
man,
though.
I'll make
Yeah,
it
it's
work.
worth it.
Anyway, centuries after Braveheart, which was based in the late 13th century, in 1820, a guy named James Grant of the Clan Grant helped lead the raid on Elgin, which represented the last clan revolt of Scotland. And I won't even get into that for now, like the actual Elgin raid or whatever. But
Elgin
after
is where oh my gosh, Mr. Found North extraordinaire, man, I'm the worst with
Nick
names.
Taylor,
Nick Taylor, thank you. Yeah, Nick was talking about Elgin. He was talking about
really?
the Alexander Murray gift shop
Oh,
or
wait, are you talking about Nick Taylor? Or are you talking about Carl Schoen?
oh, I don't remember. It's so many interview episodes back to back.
Because Carl was working with Jim,
No,
but also Nick Taylor worked in Scotland for a while or
I'm
something like that.
and I said it wrong earlier. I'm quite sure it was Nick Taylor. It was the
Okay.
Gordon
Oh
MacPhail
yeah, yeah.
retail
Mhm.
place, and he
No, which
mentioned
is
the
great.
Druthy cobbler. That I got it saved in here in case I ever
Oh,
go.
that's
Apparently,
cool.
that's where you're supposed to go.
No, that's super cool. I wonder where Jim Murray lives in Scotland because I know he's Scottish. I think pretty darn sure. Anyway,
I don't know.
so yeah, Elgin. After leading the raid on Elgin, James and his brother John eventually started a distillery. And although there were many old distilleries that were older than Glen Grant, uh, which started in 1840. They applied for their license in 1839, got it in 1840. I looked around the surrounding area, and there's a lot of things going on there. Like Dufftown is not too far from there. Just a general Spey region of the Speyside region of Scotland. Glen Grant is one of the older ones there, which was cool. Some of the ones I saw that started well after were Aberlour, Glenrothes, Balvenie. Mortlock was one of the only ones that was not too far from the whiskey, but it was founded a few years before Glen Grant. Anyway, years later, and this is one day, okay, Bryan, one day we're going to go out to Scotland and we're going
Oh
to tour
yeah,
some stinking distilleries and
I've
we're going
no
to
doubt.
talk to Glen Grant and all those. I mean, dude, like, it's going to be amazing.
We're gonna talk to Glenn from
Yeah.
Glen Grant,
Yeah. This
Mr.
doesn't
Glenn
even have to
himself.
happen. Yeah. We'll tell we like, listen, Glenn, we got a question for you. But and then we'll invite some of our listeners. Looking at you, Ben and Miles. So anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have some fun, and it doesn't even need to happen before I put a Macallan 18 up my butt.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were
Yeah,
still on track for that.
but
Yeah,
that'll make it easier once
yeah.
we get to that point. Years later, John Grant, James's brother's nephew, James Grant, another James Grant, but he was known not only as James but the Major. So the Major Grant. And he did well with the distillery years after they had passed, refining processes and even introducing Glen Grant Distillery to their signature tall, slender still concept, which they're known for to this day. They're not the only ones, but they're known for it for sure. After the Major died in 1931, and since then, in 1946, a boy named Dennis Malcolm was born on distillery grounds. Since then, he's become the master distiller. He's an OBE, like Richard Patterson, which we mentioned in a prior episode, but got his most excellent order of the British Empire from the Queen 6 years before Richard Patterson did. So
Dang.
this guy's a baller too. Anyway, dude's a pro at Scotch. What's his name? Dennis Malcolm. 3 years ago, he celebrated what's called the Diamond Year, as they say, his 60th year working at Glen Grant.
Wow.
So what we're drinking today is the 18-year expression from Glen Grant Distillery. This is a Scotch and a single malt. And so 100% malted barley, and all made within the same distillery, Glen Grant. 18 years aged, of course. Speyside of the Highland region. Not all Highlands are Speyside, but all Speysides are Highlands.
Didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like Speysides are known to be fed from the River Spey. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Miles Ferguson, but I'm pretty darn sure. Like for example, Glenmorangie is not off the River Spey, but it is a Highland Scotch.
Gotcha.
So that's a good example. Yeah, where did I leave off? Okay, so yeah, not known for using peat, and so I'm taking a conjecture here. There's conjecture the word, like a guess. Is like a guess conjecture?
Got nothing for you.
Okay, cool. So I'm taking a stab in the dark here, but Glen Grant was also one of the first distilleries known to use electricity. So my guess is they were one of the first ones to use electricity to halt the malting process as well. So some distilleries were using peat to halt the malting process. Some were using charcoal, but I have a feeling Glen Grant got the electricity involved and like heated up like an oven room, just like an oven. Could you imagine baking bread with peat? That's just a whole nother story. But anyway, I want to try it one day.
Yeah, I do too. But
that'd be crazy. It's like the Maker's Mark. They're like, well, let's bake bread and figure out a recipe. Well,
yeah,
why don't you try it with peat in Scotland? Anyway, that would be a messy bread. Oh my goodness, it'd be black. Anyway, gives me an idea. Yeah, that maybe they were using that. So in 2020, get this. Okay, this is a big deal, and like your opinion on Jim Murray may be good or bad. But in 2020, for the 5th year in a row, Jim Murray gave this, what we're drinking today, the Scotch of the Year.
Wow.
5 years in a row. And then get this. In 2021, he gave this Glen Grant expression, the 15-year, the Scotch of the Year. So he is... hopefully not getting paid by Glen Grant, but he is loving on Glen Grant, which is a big deal for 5 years in a row, or 6 years in a row, technically, Glen Grant to win the Scotch of the Year. 86 proof, so nothing too crazy. Let's crack it. I got a cork. Let's pop it. Yeah, I'm excited to do this because I've had this before, but
weak.
It was a little weak, but it is only like an eighth full, or maybe like a quarter full.
You're going to get a low tone cork pop off something with not that much liquid in there.
So you were talking about a cork pop the other day, or that happened?
Oh,
no, maybe you shouldn't mention that.
Yeah, no, we won't mention that. But you're right that I was. Next story.
Definitely did talk about that. Yeah, that's funny. So there was a few things you were like, we should talk about that on the podcast. And I was like, was that one of them? And I'm like, no.
No, it was
anyway,
not. Apologies, listeners.
Bryan on his own if you want to.
Yeah, in a non-public forum.
Exactly. Somewhere that can't be tracked. Oh, man. Great nose on this. So what Glen Grant is known for is very refreshing, very light and fruity, not typically very oily or too much dried fruit, as opposed to like, basically it comes down to the purifier and the tall slender stills. It's like the more volatile vapors that make it through and the less non-volatile vapors that make it through, usually you're getting a more refreshing, fruitier, cleaner whiskey.
Yeah. Very sugary, fruity nose. Very fruit candy nose. I think like I would have thought, I always say Irish whiskeys are very fruity,
totally
bright fruit, very
and some
light color fruit. This is not like Irish at all, though. I feel like I've made that comparison in the past, but absolutely not going to do it with this. There's something different about this that is making it way sweeter in a sugary way with the fruit notes.
And the interesting thing between Irish whiskey and Scotch is that normally Scotch is single malt, so it means 100% malted barley. On the other hand, some Irishes are known for single pot still, which might incorporate some unmalted barley. But the biggest difference that I find is that most Irishes, not all, but most Irishes are triple distilled, which in turn also means some of the more volatile vapors are making it through because of the extra distillation. But then if you do a double distill with tall slender stills, you're getting a different product, but still refreshing and crisp, which is cool. The differences here.
Yeah. I am getting a particular candy now, and that candy is Twizzlers.
I can see that too.
I'm getting fruity, but it's also got this creamy thing going on with the nose. So creamy, sugary, fruity, that I can convince myself is Twizzlers.
So are you talking about strawberry Twizzlers or cherry Twizzlers?
Strawberry for sure, actually.
Okay.
I definitely
I'm getting
know
more
the
cherry.
Oh yeah? Cherry in general?
A little bit of both. Yeah. No, like cherry Twizzlers more so. But just it's a little bit of both though. This is yeah, the proof show like what my thought is, I haven't had this in a few months, but my thought is that the proof is low, but the flavor is there, and the refreshing, ability is there. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's apples, but definitely pears, mixed with that like strawberry cherry Twizzler note, on the nose at least.
Yeah. I just sipped, and on the palate, I was expecting it to be more fruity from the nose. That's fine. But it has a very it's not the closest I can come right now is brininess. It's got this kind of
I can see that
bitterness that is kind of grounding it in a earthy way. And I'm getting a little bit of fruit, but kind of like an overripe pineapple fruit.
Or an underripe potentially.
Oh, I like that. Like with acidity and tartness.
Yeah, and it's not too sweet yet, but it does have a nice sweetness to it. Almost, yeah, I could see it being both, to be honest. Where it's like the sweetness of an overripe and like the mellow sweetness of an overripe pineapple, but a little bit of the front potential bitterness. I don't see it too much as bitter, but I could see it being like that, the flavor of more so the underripe pineapple.
I'm getting bubblegum on the nose now.
Ooh. So on the palate, I was getting those Twizzlers notes. I do get their briny note, which I really love with the mixture of it. But I also got almost like an underripe apricot too, like not a mushy one, but almost like a underripe, obviously, but not too stone fruity. Almost just that front flavor of like a too hard apricot or a peach or something like that.
Yeah, people typically mention iodine. Is it with Speyside?
Typically they call it like medicinal in an iodine kind of way.
I'm
sorry, not Speyside. Typically you get that in Isla's.
Isla. Okay. I was gonna ask you to kind of like explain that, because I'm not sure I know what an iodine
I don't think so either
is. But
like some people get like Band-Aid, which isn't always iodine from what I can imagine. But kinda like Adam used to get Band-Aids from
the plasticky kind of smell. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine so, at least.
Yeah, I am getting a light saltiness, a light brine on this. It's kind of it makes it interesting for sure. I'm not sure that I personally like it very much, but it makes it stand out for sure. Like I'm gonna remember that I'm gonna remember what this tastes like, and it's not just gonna get lost in the noise.
So one of my biggest thoughts concerning Glen Grant 18 was, I think, and the funny thing is I never had them lapse each other, the Glen Grant 16 that we had versus the Glen Grant 18. But I think I loved the 16 more than I think I love the 18. I don't know what it is, but the other one was like much more. It took out a little bit of that brininess, which I don't mind the brininess, but it brought a lot more light fruit from the 16 year. So if anyone's out there and sees a 16-year Glen Grant, I'm interested.
Is that not
because I would
a
love to try them
common
next to each
offering?
other. Well, Miles Ferguson got me one from Scotland proper. That was awesome. One of the best gifts ever, man. People give good gifts, man.
Right.
But anyway.
Yeah, I was curious if the 16 had a different cask maturation or different ABV.
Usually they're going for like ex-bourbon on these typically. Nothing. They don't not use that, to my recollection. They don't. I guess they do sometimes, I believe, use some like sherry, but they are not going for a sherry finished or like a strong sherry kind of flavor. Usually what you get from Glen Grant is like very like the Scotch is what you're getting. Like like with ex-bourbon, you're usually getting like the Scotch. It doesn't impart too much on the whiskey itself, as opposed to like sherry or port or cognac or something like that. Or even new charred oak. Like those, like I feel like the least impact is from ex-bourbon, already used bourbon. So I'm gonna add some water real quick.
On the finish, now that it's been a while, I haven't sipped in a while. I think I'm tasting like butterscotch.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite notes of all time. Seriously though, like if you can get butterscotch on anything, I'm a fan.
Is there a particular whiskey that sticks out in your mind that was butterscotch?
Two. There was the first Blanton straight from the barrel I ever had. Shout out to Caleb Olson, who
also
hashtag
Caleb Olson.
Hashtag the Bourbon Badger, but also at the Bourbon Badger. And then have you ever had E.H. Taylor seasoned wood?
No.
Mind blowing. Like that's my favorite whiskey of all time. Is E.H. Taylor seasoned wood. One other one that I got slightly on was John Hughes sent out a 115 barrel of the Single Oak Project, and I got nice butterscotch on that one too.
Nice.
Yeah, dude, it was so good. So good. That's like my thing is like, I hope that our love of spirits lifted yours. No, but I mostly hope that
good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night. I hope that one day something will be as good at, like, that's the thing with whiskey. It's like, will any, like, special editions, will anything ever be as good as E.H. Taylor seasoned wood? I hope so.
Right.
But that's the fear, is like, what if no one ever outdoes that? And it's like not the worst thing in the world, but I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what if I'll never have that again? That's really the thought that's going through my mind. It's not like, what if no one outdoes it? It's more like, what if I'll never be able to try something like that ever again? So
yeah. I'm not sure I've hit that with any particular bottle yet. I'm not sure I've had anything that was like,
I wish I could share that with you.
Not sure I've had anything that's like, I worry that I might not ever again. It's like, I don't know. Most of the stuff I've had that's been like the best I've ever had is like, okay, cool. And that was this year's version. And maybe maybe next year's is pretty good too, or whatever.
What do you think secondary is for seasoned wood? $4,000, $5,000?
I think it's actually around 3.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I might. Like if I got a bonus that were $3,000, like dude, I might.
Think of your kids. That's what I've been having to do lately.
No, I'll just take from their 529 account
and pay taxes and a penalty on it. Yeah. Don't do it, man.
Just pull out $5,000 and pay for each Taylor season wood.
Yeah. You know, funny. I've been seeing a lot of hubbub lately of people trying to sell concert tickets, trade concert tickets, and other kinds of event tickets for whiskey. People are
like, they're like Taylor Swift for
well, so actually the latest was like an Olivia Rodrigo concert ticket, and apparently the Olivia Rodrigo trades were priced higher value than the Taylor Swift tickets. Even.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, right.
It's those teenage girls. They'll spend anything, or their parents will spend anything.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, the guy was like, "Hey, anybody with a teenage daughter that wants to see Olivia Rodrigo?"
Yeah, it's not. Well, actually, Robbie was lauding Olivia Rodrigo himself. He was like, "Yeah, I've listened to it with Amara," and he's like, "But she actually has some really good stuff." So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I've
definitely
listened to
like
a
her
few
stuff.
things.
Yeah,
They're good. Yeah.
yeah. Of course, I wouldn't be allowed back in this house if I didn't also like Taylor Swift. So
Nice.
that's mandatory for me over
Nice.
here.
For the rap fam.
Sam gets, you know how TikTok, whatever you spend time on, they will push more of that to
Oh,
you. So if you
totally.
spend a little too much time on something, that's all you see.
You're like, oh, so you like Taylor Swift?
Sam, well, the funny thing is, Sam particularly, Sam has gotten TikToks particularly around little baby girls dancing to Taylor Swift. And like
That's
there
so
was
funny.
one,
So you
there
like
was one
baby
in
girls dancing to
particular.
Taylor Swift? That's like what TikTok's saying to Sam, and she's like, a little, I guess. Well, we're gonna send you a lot more of that. No, but go
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Yo, dog, we heard you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It was like there was one, and she sends them all to me, of course. There was one that was like some, oh yeah, you know how she did the Eras tour thing in theaters?
Yeah.
And so it was like mom and daughter like walking out of the theater, and the daughter's like bawling, and she's like, tell
Oh.
the camera why you're crying, and she's like, it's over. And she's like, do you want to see it again? And she's like, yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, she made a killing on that.
I know, right?
Oh, good for her. She's from Pennsylvania.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
from
Oh yeah, that's
Pennsylvania.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. You could have
Basically the
known Taylor
same.
Swift.
Yeah, I could have been the next Taylor Swift. But I decided to go to college and not pursue my musical career.
Like for real though? Were you
No.
okay,
No,
okay.
not
You
at
never
all.
had an interest in music?
No,
Like
I
that
mean, I
way.
played cello. No, not in that way. Never
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I
When I
like
was
played cello and could do a falsetto, but yeah, that's about
Yeah,
it.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. And then when you did the falsetto and cello at the same time, that's what made it so yeah, they didn't let you
Yeah.
into the musical colleges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, please don't ever talk to
When
us
I was
again.
going to college, I definitely like had to make the choice. I was like,
Oh, wow.
do I want to study music or do I want to
Yeah.
be an engineer? And I was like, well, one of those makes money.
It's like the I don't know, but I was second chair cello in high school. But I wasn't second chair worthy, to be honest. I just really jived well with the first chair. And he went to Juilliard. And here I am going to James Madison University. Yeah.
The
Which
first
is
chair
not known for
trombonist,
its Uh-huh.
first chair trombone at my high school, he ended up at
Uh-huh.
Juilliard too. Yeah, he's
Wow.
legit. He's
Oh
like,
yeah. Did he
he's
turn out legit after Juilliard?
I actually have no idea.
Ooh, that's the question. It's like Juilliard's nice and all that,
Yeah,
but
so yeah,
I've
Brett, if
never
you're
heard
out there
of.
listening.
Yeah. Peter, if you're out there, I want to know how you're doing. If
Yeah,
you're
right.
working as a cellist, yeah.
Water drop notes.
Yeah, go for it.
No more meandering.
Yeah.
Pepper with the brine. No, well, not no fruit, but way less fruit. Same amount of brine, but now a little bit of pepperiness too.
On the palate?
On the palate. Nose didn't really change much. I don't
I'm
remember.
the same with the nose. Nose didn't really change much at all. Palate, I got a little bit more fruit, a little less briny. No pepper
Oh,
personally,
oh.
but I might enjoy this a little more. I feel like I've let it go too long and like kind of just let it sit, but it's good stuff. All right, ice time.
Digging for my ice here in my mug. I only have a smidge here. My I think the Glen Grant 18 was one of the couple that leaked a little bit.
Oh, rough.
So
only a smidge of whiskey, not a smidge of ice.
Got about a one sipper on the ice here.
Well, one thing I'll say, even off the bat, no palate, no nose, no nothing. It is weirdly colder in my hand.
Actually, mine's warm. No. Yeah, mine's colder too. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense if you like actually like quantify it and all that, like, or even just, I don't know science.
Yeah. It's almost as if it's
crazy.
attempting
Science
to reach
crazy.
a new equilibrium of
Yeah.
temperature. Yeah.
Science be crazy like that. Actually, still very good with ice. I've never had Glen Grant 18 with ice yet, and this is pretty good.
Lots of sugar notes. Hardly any brininess, or it's almost as if like the brininess is the the briny notes when they're cold turn into like sugary notes for me. Not as much fruit either. It's almost just like it's a neutral sugar, like a vanilla kind of neutral sugar.
So I'm so happy you said that, because I was ready to say it when you were done talking, because I randomly got this one note. Oh man, I'm still getting it. Vanilla icing.
Yeah.
But not in almost like a bright fruity way. Vanilla icing. Not in like a too dense or anything like that way. I really like this.
Did the fruit change for you, or is it still that kind of like apricot, pineapple-y, light pineapple? Because I was hardly getting any fruit anymore.
It's definitely muted on the fruit. I'm still getting a little bit of the underripe pineapple, but the vanilla's showing up really interestingly.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if I like it more than the neat though.
This was going to be this was a decisive pour for me. I think they have 2 left at Total Wine Santan at my close Total Wine.
Is it worth 155?
Nah, I'm not gonna go get one. I was tempted. I was almost like excited to. It was like going into this. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna go buy a bottle after this. And then now I'm like, nah, maybe not.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'd spend 150-ish to get the 16 year again. Given someone finds it, so that I can put it up against the 18 year and figure out if I truly do love it more than the 18 year. But I have a feeling I will. It was such a good bottle. So
do you still have a full unopened Glen Grant 18, or are you on your last?
I do. Yeah. No.
Oh,
this is the dregs of bottle 1.
Ah, right, cool. So. And so, oh yeah, that's right. I remember from the low cork pop. Box and all. It came with a blue box, right?
Yep. Both of them had a box. Yep.
Fancy looking. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I will say, I think 155 is priced right.
I would say so too.
I don't think like I'm not going to go buy this just because I personally like thought that this was just fine. This didn't hit things that I want for my own collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 155 is totally fair. I mean, Glen Grant 18, an 18-year thing, you know, there are 18-year products all across the board. They could have had this at 300 to 325, like, and from knowing what it is and prestige and everything, probably wouldn't bat an eye. Not saying that they would be selling just as hot, and not saying they'd be selling just as much, but like, you wouldn't really think twice about an 18-year being that expensive, you know?
Yeah.
So the fact that they kept it at 155, I think is great.
It's reasonable. Yeah. And they actually recently put out a 21 year, and I reached out to one of their brand ambassadors. I was like, and he's like, no. And he's like, not yet. He put it nicely. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's because all you said in the email was,
yeah. But yeah. So he was like, we'll see about it. So yeah.
Your is like, reminds me of like Wario.
Like, yeah, exactly. or Waluigi.
Oh, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
The skinnier of the two.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's think about rating.
Oh yeah. Right. Oh, I need to, man. The Bryan rating, this needs to come from me personally. And from me personally, this is going to land at 8.0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is bottom of the eights for me. I think
Okay.
I almost think that maybe I liked my entry buzz more, which I didn't even mention was Oban 14.
Nice.
Um like I think this could if I had this in a blind with several other solid scotches, I think
Mm-hmm.
this might be like next to last ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Do you normally prefer a finished scotch as opposed to this?
I do typically prefer
Okay.
sherry scotches and
Mm-hmm.
sweeter scotches.
Yeah.
I prefer a little higher proof scotches.
Mm-hmm.
And like what is it? Aberlour Abuna. I
Yeah.
don't know how it's
Abuna,
pronounced,
baby.
but I hope it's
Mm-hmm.
Abuna.
No, you're right.
Buna. I like the Buna. It's
Mm-hmm.
just very, very flavorful.
Yeah.
And this was the brininess made it a little unique, and I thought that it was good. It's just that a lot of the other solid scotches I've had, I think, punched a little above this. So I'll put
Gotcha.
it at the bottom of the eights.
Okay. I'm a little different. I still dig this one. I love a nice fruity, crisp scotch. Even though I can love an Abuna or something like that, I do love a nice crispy one. And I'm gonna give this a 9.0 flat. Um, I dig it. I still wonder if the 16 year is better. Won't know until someone helps me out. Um, but also, I think it is very good. Even potentially right at the cusp of Hubba to What fruitiness. So that's what I got this week. 9.0, 8.0, and 9.0. I like that. So I guess now that we've rated it, it might be time to go to our next segment of the show that we like to call Whiskey World News.
Welcome back, everybody. This segment of the show is called Whiskey World News. We're going to read an article that we did not write. We're just going to read this article. And today's article came to me, delivered to my inbox just
Nice.
hours ago from Wilderness Trail.
Ooh.
Wilderness Trail had a fun little shindig where they
Nice.
sold a 10-year version of their weeded mash bill.
Nice.
So they sent a fun little article talking about
could you
the event.
imagine?
No, I know. Yeah, I bet it's real
Oh
good.
man.
I do have the 8-year weeded that came out, 2 years ago? No, it wasn't 2 years ago. It was less than a year ago. So I think this was a
They
special
got some
barrel
killer
anyway.
stock. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the
That must
title
have
is
been because didn't they start in 2014?
they started, well, apparently this barrel was started in 2013. I don't know what the deal is, but
Maybe it's
let me read this
2012 or
article. It might
something.
answer some questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Title of this article is 10 years to age, 30 minutes to sell. Our
Wow.
10-year weeded bourbon sells out in a half hour. So the Wilderness Trail's first release of 10-year-old bourbon was sold at this event that they just put on. And Wilderness Trail began barreling bourbon in 2013. And in 2023, they decided to release this 10-year weeded bourbon as a bottled in bond. So it's 100 proof. As one of Wilderness Trail's first barrels, this was distilled on the pot still in downtown Danville. When fermentation experts Shane Baker and Pat Heist, co-founders of Wilderness Trail Distillery, started their distillery, they were devoted to making the first known sweet mash bottled in bond weeded bourbon in Kentucky since Prohibition. And by sweet mash, they mean they didn't reuse any from a previous run.
That's cool.
The barreling of this special barrel, the distillery's second barrel ever made, coincided with the 80th anniversary of the repeal of Prohibition. And 10 years later, the release commemorated the 90th anniversary of the repeal. Keeping with this theme, the 10-year bottle was housed in a rustic cedar box inspired by the smuggler's crates of the Prohibition era.
Nice.
So it was their second barrel that they ever
That's so cool.
barreled. Yeah, I know. I wonder what the deal with that first barrel is. I bet they left it. I bet it's still going.
Yeah. No, yeah, I can imagine. What is the price of that bottle, even though it's already sold?
I'll have to dig in an older email. They didn't say it in today's email, but I'm pretty sure it was not crazy. I think it was something on the order of 80 to 120. I think it was
My
perfectly.
goodness, I would spend that any day.
And now keep in mind, this was a single barrel. Only sold at the distillery. So you had to go to the event. I don't know if you had to line up early or whatever.
They're in not Greenville. What's the word? They're in maybe it is Greenville.
I don't know. I'll have to Google that too. I was totally wrong. The cost of the box, the cost of the bottle and cedar box engraved with Wilderness Trail is $280 plus tax.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
But like, okay.
I would, if I was there, I totally would have been like, hey, I'm going to go get this.
So here's my thing about Wilderness Trail. I was literally thinking about them today. They are a distillery that has always done it right. They've never sourced. They've always aged minimum 4 years. They start their own thing from like their own yeast strain. Like okay. And I think you agree with me on this.
They're the science guy.
If I were to rep any smaller distillery, it would be Wilderness Trail. Like if I were to say, you can always trust them. They are going to be the next big thing. To be honest, like I think, especially for a non-distilling producer, they are the next big thing. And they've never been a sourcer. They've never been anything like that. I think I might even think about throwing down $280 for a 10-year whiskey, because it's Wilderness Trail. And I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of older aged. Yeah. Like you said, who knows what barrel one is doing right now. I have a feeling we haven't heard the last of a decently aged Wilderness Trail, because 10 years isn't that crazy. Buffalo Trace, Wild Turkey, Heaven Hill, they could put out a 10-year any day. Yeah, they could put out a 10-year any day. Wilderness Trail has only been open for less than 15 years, and for them to put out a 10-year is a big deal. And I've never had a Wilderness Trail I didn't like, and they don't source, and so that's so cool to me.
Yeah,
I think they deserve the honor that this is, and the honor of our praise. Because they're doing things great over there, and they're so sciencey, and they're like, before they even started as a whiskey company, they were selling yeast to whiskey companies because they were and breweries, because they were so good at it. Firm Solutions, I think it was called, or something like that.
Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah. They are in Danville. I think you said that.
Danville, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I couldn't agree more. I love these guys. I've loved these guys ever since. I think they were just behind Knob Creek as like some of my first whiskey loves.
Yeah.
And that rye, I can't get enough. I went out of my way to acquire a 7-year cask strength rye, the straight rye. And it was their oldest rye bottling to date when I bought it, because it was cool. Like it was a single barrel from somebody named One Man Wolfpack. I have no idea who that is, but apparently he's a big deal. Nice. And yeah, they let him have their oldest rye barrel that they'd ever bottled at the time. They are owned by Campari now.
That's right. Yeah.
So just fingers
getting
crossed.
A single barrel for chill filter single barrel one day might be a little harder.
Yeah, fingers crossed that the ship keeps sailing the same way it's sailing, not even now that they're owned by Campari. But I
have a feeling they will be.
Could happen. Yeah,
that would hurt though if they like suddenly went downhill. But Wild Turkey's still doing great things. They're just more expensive great things.
Right. The premium lines are like, I mean, did you hear that basically next year's Master's Keep is like is like $500 or something stupid.
That's what I think of that.
I
wonder what their 15 year is going to run for though.
Yeah, I know.
They're putting out a Russell's 15.
Yeah. I did not confirm this, but the newest Master's Keep was like 300 this year, I think. But and then I heard that next year's is 500.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
And it's not even that good. Like Master's Keeps can be great, but they're not like $500 worth. I'll tell you that right now. Come on, Campari, you Italians. Not that there's anything wrong with being Italian.
Stick to the aperitifs and the herbal liqueurs.
and the what is it, Amaros and stuff. Come on. So, no, that's good. How let's talk about what whiskey would you choose?
Yes, let's talk about what whiskey would you choose. So last time, what whiskey would you choose? We put it down to a vote. We asked, what whiskey would you share at your New Year's party, that New Year's party that you're totally going to go to, which was the thing that we talked about earlier that I was like, I'll talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
My New Year's party, which I was going to bring Peregrine to, ended up falling apart. I think
everyone was like, don't come.
No, not like that. The guy whose house it was at, Rob, he was like, hey, so we've had 5 couples cancel in the last like hour, and there's so many people sick, and there's so many people with COVID and everything that they were like, let's just cancel. It sounded like almost everybody canceled. So he was like, nah, just don't come. It's no big deal. So I have
now you don't have COVID.
I know. Yeah. Right. Feeling good.
And you got more Peregrine.
Yeah, I know. Right. I'll share with them eventually. But so what whiskey did you share at your New Year's party? I said Found North Peregrine. You said Nulu Cask Strength Rye, particularly the which pick?
The Liquor Barn pick.
Liquor Barn. So you won. More people would rather share Nulu Rye at their New Year's party.
So. Although I didn't like mine at my New Year's party. It was way too grassy. It was like pure mown grass, mown down.
I want a sample of that because I need to know.
I'll send it your way. Yeah.
I need to know what that tastes like. But I've never had an herbal at all. Nulu Rye.
Pure grass. It was weird, and I love Nulu Rye. But yeah, it was a weird one.
Nulu, I've only ever known Nulu to be MGP, but does every Nulu have to be MGP? Is there any chance that Nulu is actually sourced outside of MGP?
I don't know. Yeah.
I wonder afterwards you should check it out and see if it says where it was distilled. Then kind of interesting. Yeah. But anyway, you won 62-38, so pretty hefty margin there.
Nice.
And when prompted with the question of what whiskey would you bring to that New Year's party, we got a response from Marco NAZ.
Nice.
He says Larceny A123, which was Fred Minnick's number 3 whiskey of the year.
Baby.
Whiskey Drinking Panda says Jack 10-year batch 2.
Oh, it's good to hear from you. Whiskey Drinking Panda. I think it's Joey. That's Joey. That's freaking Joey. We love Joey.
Freaking Joey. Jack 10-year batch 2 and the 12-year and the barrel strength rye store pick from
Nice.
So a very Jack New Year's for Whiskey Drinking Panda and all his panda friends.
Yeah.
Paul Clarkson took Weller 12 to his New Year's party.
Nice.
Weller 12.
Good choice.
And Ben Klepsig, Madtown marketer, Octomore 14.4.
What a baller.
Sounded like Santa was good to Ben Klepsig this year.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good. All right. For this week, we have a fun new question. And we're always all ears to new feedback on what ways we can make more engagement with our listeners and to replace this segment with random things here and there. But this week, we have one fun thing. What is one of your favorite finishing barrels for whiskey? Whether it be cognac or sherry or port or something like that, or ex-bourbon, for example. And then what is a whiskey that defines that finish for you? So anything come to your mind, Bryan?
It does. And I suddenly realized that I only had one thing come to my mind, and it came to my mind immediately. So I know it's the right pick. And that thing is sherry.
Nice. Sherry butts.
Love sherry butts. Love the sherry butts.
Love that sherry's butt.
Whoa, hey, what? Are we talking about the same thing?
Sorry.
Sherry butts. And, you know, man, like, I'm going to be honest here. as much as I want to say Found North Batch 8, which I love,
Mm-hmm.
love.
Oh yeah, Sauternes.
The there you go, you got it. The
Mm-hmm.
first thing that came to my mind when I thought about Finnish sherry and then what bottle was Sagamore rye sherry
Mm-hmm.
finish.
Nice.
They came out with a couple different finishes. I think they had like a port and a sherry and a
Nice.
cognac, maybe an Armagnac too, but
Mm-hmm.
cognac for sure. But sherry Sagamore rye is
Nice.
it's just perfect. It's the best part of
Nice.
MGP rye, and it's the best part of sherry casks married in one bottle. I love it.
Nice. I like that. For me, I think my favorite is so far is port, but some people can do it wrong. I like a nice sweet velvety thing, whether it be a bourbon or even a scotch. But one that comes to mind that is very port appreciative is one called Art of Spirits. You ever heard of this?
No.
It's out of Colorado, I think, and it's mostly like military supporting. But it's called Art of Spirits, and they did a port finish years ago that I picked up at a Clicks liquor in Fountain, Colorado. Or no, Falcon? No, it was Fountain and Falcon. They're near Colorado Springs, but it was Fountain. And it was delicious. One of the best finished bourbons I've ever had was their port finished. It was so velvety, so nice. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I'm gonna say port and Art of Spirits, and I'll send you the picture.
Nice. Did I send you a sample of the World Whiskey Society port finished 10-year wheated bourbon?
You might have. I think you sent something like that. Yeah.
I hope I did. If I didn't, I will.
No, you did. It actually is clicking right now. You did.
It's like it's one of the best Sherritt bottles I've ever had. That's like everyone needs to try this because it's so unique and so jammy fruit. It's like it's like 102 proof, I think, or 103 proof, and it's 10-year wheated bourbon, finished in port.
Nice.
Distilled in Oklahoma, if you can believe it.
Nice.
Yeah. And the wheat contribution is like 45%. So it's a very high wheat.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's really, really neat.
I gotta check it out. Yeah. And with that, what are we drinking next week? Have we even discussed this yet?
No, we didn't.
Let me look up my list. My listy list. What about what about that George T. Stagg from 2022?
Dang, yeah, sure.
Coming in hard. Well, we can put that up against something hopefully comparable.
Why wait? Yeah. What is comparable to that? Dang.
I know, right? Maybe no. How about we take out George T. Stagg for another week, but we throw in Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923 against something else. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Maybe let's see, any good rise. What about we'll put Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C923 against the Jack Daniel's Twice Barreled Rye.
Yeah. Sounds great.
I feel like that's like they're both hot right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So hot right now. So, we'll put that up as our 2-pick Tuesday this week. Keep an eye out for What Whiskey Would You Choose Wednesday. We love to hear your feedback. We love to hear all your input, guys. But I guess that's it. I hope you guys are enjoying our the Reentry Buzz episodes. So we'll be doing one after this, recording one after this, and we'll be having a good time. But I hope our listeners are enjoying what they hear. I feel like I was a little more hyper this week, which is not always a bad thing. Sometimes it brings me out of myself. So I hope our listeners enjoyed and didn't think we were meandering too much.
Yeah, well, I hope the YouTube viewers really enjoyed watching my cat up here in this bed, just going to town, just cleaning and licking like the whole episode. I didn't
even notice myself.
Don't think I didn't notice. I know that, like, I want to see your comments. Like, what the hell is that cat doing up there?
Yeah. I hope our listeners and viewers can also keep commenting as they always do on our Instagram page or our YouTube channel or anything like that. I hope they can feel free to do
they
so.
Also reach out and ask to join the Discord server because we'd love to grow
Dude,
that.
We got
community.
that. We got the your bourbon drinking buddy. No, your drinking buddy. Yep. I got it right. Yeah, he joined.
Yep.
He's famous. Why not join too? So yeah, reach out to us if you want to join our Discord. It's not that hard to figure it out. So
yeah.
But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. It's so meandering. Shut up. Anyway, that's what I think. I'm a little
Thank
hyper
you for
now.
your feedback. We love your feedback. We may or may not incorporate it.
Exactly. If you don't want meandering, we're not your podcast, though.
Yeah,
so
right.
I'm sorry.
Did you listen to the first 15 minutes?
Exactly. Did you make it this far?